Oh. Ooh, the moment of truth. Oh. Oh, it's so spicy. Dude. Ooh. 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 That's saucy.
Chooky beef.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to my review of the WOWGO2S. The WOWGO2S is an electric skateboard that has some really impressive specs and is extremely fun. This thing can go 22 miles an hour at full speed and can go up hills of up to 30% decline. The battery option I opt for can go for 10 to 12 miles. That's a long way. And I believe you can get battery options that go 12 to 14 and even 16 to 18 miles. That's a long way. Like, that's a really long way. This is my first time ever purchasing an electric skateboard, and I was expecting electric skateboards to have almost no control and be very scary to ride. And I will say this, when you're going 22 miles an hour on a skateboard, it is slightly scary, but it's scary in the most perfect and beautiful way possible. It's like, it feels like you're just like surfing, or like the WOWGO2S has a really refined controller experience, and it feels like a well-oiled machine when you ride it. I never ridden another electric skateboard like I said earlier, but reviewers say that a lot of electric skateboards do feel out of control and very scary to ride. And this one, you feel completely in control. The controller has a simple knob that has a brake and accelerator, and that's it. It's very simple, very easy to use, and it's all in one place. It basically is an extension of your hand after a little while. I've only had it for like 4 days, and I feel completely comfortable going at full speed and turning and all of that stuff. It's really not that scary. Everything about the little details of this board, like the way the regenerative braking works super well, and how it doesn't lose speed while going up hills, and how you can replace each individual part if it breaks instead of having to replace the whole board, or you can upgrade your battery after you buy your board. All of these little details just really butter my egg roll. Like, it's extra. It's so extra. Everything about the board is just, it's so much, it's extra. That's what I love about WOWGO. My package experienced some shipping issues on the way. I was able to reach out to WOWGO instantly, and they replied saying your package is experiencing some delays, and their customer service was excellent. They even wrote a long apology letter on their Instagram. Like, that's really, what company does that just for a couple shipping orders that were delayed? Writes like a 10-paragraph essay to their customers on their Instagram. That's extra. This thing is too fun to ride. Like, I've only had this thing for 4 days, and I've put over 50 miles on this thing already. I cannot stop riding it. I've charged it like 10 times. This thing feels like you're just floating through the sky. I love it, dude. I love it. I can't get over how wonderful it is. I can't. Even my 50-year-old, or almost 50-year-old, he's not quite 50, I'll give him that, dad was able to pick this up, and he says it himself. He doesn't have very good balance. He wasn't going fast, but he was still able to ride it. That's impressive, considering he hasn't ridden a skateboard since he was like 10. He just hopped on it, and he wasn't going super fast, like I said earlier, but he was able to ride it. And he can't ride a normal skateboard. Half the fun part of riding this skateboard is to see people's expressions as you go like 15 miles an hour up a hill on a skateboard. Like, it's too funny. Like, I passed this old lady, probably about 65, as she was just walking up the hill calmly, and I whizzed past her on my skateboard, and like, her eyes just lit up. Like, it's so hilarious. In my town, nobody's ever seen these before, and so you get the funniest reactions. People don't know what it is. I would recommend this board to pretty much everyone. Yeah, I get it. It's slightly dangerous. In fact, I had a pretty bad fall. Messed up my hands, my wrist, my arm, my shoulder, my leg. But I have to admit, I was being kind of stupid. And it was not the board's fault. This board, like I said earlier, is super controllable, but you just have to know your limits on the board. As long as you know that if you go 20 miles an hour and brake really quickly, it's gonna fling you off, you're all set. What happened was I hit a rock in the road. And if I hit a rock in the road on a normal skateboard, the same thing would have happened. I probably would have flown off. So it wasn't the fact that it was electric that caused me to fling off of the skateboard. In fact, it was probably better because I saw the rock and was able to brake before I hit it. So although these things are slightly dangerous, it's a risk I'm willing to take. They're super fun, super awesome, and honestly, they're less dangerous than quads, less dangerous than dirt bikes, and I would honestly say, I haven't ridden that many dirt bikes and quads in my life, but I've ridden a few and driven a few. This is more fun than that, by far, like 100%, 110%. And dirt bikes and quads are in the grands. You can pay like $5-6 grand for a quad or a dirt bike. And this is like $450. Like, that's insane. This thing is so wonderful. I'm going to put a link in the description. It'll bring you to the manufacturer's website. I definitely recommend that you check out this board. I know $450 is a lot of cash, but this thing is so practical. I've ridden it to work every single day since I got it, and it's so much faster than a bicycle. It's so much easier than a bicycle, and I don't have to park it outside like I do my bicycle. I can bring it in. So for example, I went to the library and was able to bring my skateboard in and didn't have to worry about my bicycle getting stolen or leaving it outside in the rain for it to get wet or whatever. I can just bring the skateboard in. It works really well. A couple cons, I mean, these are really, really minor things, but I may as well address them. First off, I had some kind of bad issues with the plug that plugs the charger a hole. It won't close, and I'm worried about getting dirt in there. But again, that's a really, really minor thing. Makes almost no difference. The last and final thing I did address a tiny bit earlier, it was shipping. It did take like 15 days to get here, but again, it's a tiny, tiny detail. You know, that's definitely not a reason not to buy the skateboard. That's it. That's my review of the WOWGO2S. Don't have much of an experience with electric skateboards, but for coming from someone who doesn't have experience with electric skateboards, 2 thumbs up to WOWGO. You're the coolest company ever. Mad props. Hope you succeed in life. That's it. I'm out.